Might open a pub just for that.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That's it. Just call it Kev. That's it. Kev's bar.
Oh, definitely. I'm up for that. Yeah.
There you go. Make it happen.
That's the future for us.
Kevin Chris's bar. There you go.
That's better.
I prefer Kev's bar. We'll stay with Kev's bar. It's more.
Yeah.
It's got a ring to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It sort of rolls off the tongue.
Geek Speak, the definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello, you are listening to the 365 Flicks podcast. This is episode 88.
Double 8.
The time travel episode.
Two fat ladies. 88.
I am the Scottish Maiden Whore, Chris, and with me over the Skypes right now is...
The pissy ex-video store clerk. Yeah,
Good
Kev.
lad.
And Chris is genuinely phoning this one in because he's had a rough night.
Yeah.
What are you doing going pint for pint with your dad?
It was a good idea at the time.
No, it wasn't. You're mental. How could I don't think anybody could go pint for pint with your dad.
Apparently not. Well, it's their Ruby anniversary today, actually.
Yeah.
So they were doing a cheeky meal and stuff. So I was out for that. And
was your mum going pint to pint with you as well, or
no, they were on the Prosecco.
the Prosecco?
I should have just done that, like a big pussy.
Yeah, posh people on the Ruby wedding, they do go Prosecco. Like it's not a good idea for you though, especially if you can't go pint for pint with your dad.
Yeah.
But what are we here for, Chris? We have a special episode. This is an episode I'm extremely proud to be bringing to the people because it took me about 9 months to actually get it up and running. But it finally happened, and I'm finally bringing it to you. And would you like to let people know what this Indie Talk is?
Why the devil not? Yeah, well, as you say, it's Indie Talk is back once again. So on this episode, we are talking to actor, director, writer extraordinaire Marc Zammit, of all people. So he's sound guy, sound as a pound. Had a really good crack with him, didn't we?
We did. We had a great crack. I mean, I've been speaking to him for some time. I suppose schedules and stuff just wasn't lining up properly. We finally got.
He's a busy man as well.
Oh, he's a very busy man. Like I say, he's got like 200 IMDb credits, like in production, not just made, but like in production. Not quite that many, but you know. And I've been trying to get him on for ages, and he's had a couple of IndieGoGo campaigns on the go for the movie, which is his passion project, which is Homeless Ashes. Please go on IndieGoGo, have a look at this. This is a massive passion project for the man, and it's had me gripped from the start. Like when I first saw the first IndieGoGo, it was like, right, okay, I want to speak to this guy because this looks interesting as fuck. And he's up and running again for the second block of filming on the IndieGoGo because they've done some of it and they need to do some more, so they need a little bit more cash. So go and give as much as you can because there's some top-notch actors in this movie and it's going to be a top-notch movie.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either. And we may be getting some ticks, some TIX.
Some what?
Some tickets.
Oh, you just said tickets.
I try to be down with the millennials because, you know,
Don't do that.
Most people who listen to podcasts are like crazy millennials, so I'm trying to be down with them. It doesn't work though.
Speaking of millennials, right? So we were out last night.
Okay.
And so there was like a group of sort of like 4 or 5 lads, and they came into the pub and like on their own, not with dates or anything.
Oh.
Like, so 4 or 5 like millennial, I don't know how old, or 20 or whatever, and they ordered a bottle of Prosecco between them.
They did what?
Yeah.
They had a bottle of Prosecco between them.
Yeah.
Like 4 lads.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird, isn't it?
That's mental.
I've never heard that before.
I think we figured out why they didn't have dates with them.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think they maybe were each other's dates.
Could be it. Yeah. Each to their own and all that.
We don't like to judge on this show. We don't like to. But sharing Prosecco with a bunch of lads, unless you're like, I don't know, in London in the VIP section,
Even then, just give me a fancy beer glass, to be honest.
What pub was this?
Oh, this was the free trade at that point.
Oh, the free trade. People are doing that in the free trade.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you could get strung up for that shit in the free trade, like.
I mean, 10 years ago, definitely. I mean, maybe they've changed. Is the sawdust still on the floor, or?
No, but neither is the carpet. The carpet's, it's half on the floor.
Oh my god, it just gets worse. Have they changed the decor at all?
No.
Oh, well, okay, it's just, yeah. So what we're going to do is, by the way...
Anyway, I completely went on a tangent there.
Other pubs in Berwick are available. But what we're going to do is, we're going to do a little bit of business. Just say a couple of little things we want to talk about before we get into the interview, because this interview is a cool 1 hour and 15 minutes long. Nice. And it's worth every second, so you have to listen to it. But we just want to talk about the fact that we are heading over to Cincinnati.
You're damn right we are.
We've brought this up a few times, but 11 days, buddy.
Aye, 11 days.
11 days, and we're going to be leaving on a jet plane and going over to America. Will we be able to get back? I'm hoping we will.
What? You mean in case they cancel flights or something?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
Since he's like a whole other part of the country, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
there are different parts of America. It was quite big, you know.
Oh, well, I heard that. It's like, what is it, the size of 2 Scotlands?
Apparently so.
Cincinnati itself, not America. But yeah, just hitting on that, we kind of flippantly mentioned the hurricanes that are going on over there. And it's shocking crap. It's really bad times for those guys over there. But this week, we were asked to do a special one-off episode of 365 Flicks that you won't find on our feed, unfortunately, because it was bloody good.
It was.
And it will be going up on IndieGoGo. We don't have links yet because it's not up and running until Tuesday, the 12th. But as soon as it is, get yourself on IndieGoGo, look it up. I'm sure it'll be like Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund or Podcasters Pack or...
It'll be something along those lines. He was calling it a podcast pack.
Right, but what's going to happen is if you donate some money, you're going to get a certain amount of podcasts, special one-off podcasts from us and many other podcasts as far as I'm aware, and ours should be on the top tier. Like, if you donate like $200, you're going to get ours because it is bloody good, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it was good.
You know us Brits.
It was good.
Us Brits are very modest. But we had fun doing that, and we had Jeffrey from the History of Bad Ideas pop on. We had Big Dev, the Psy guy from Snake Oil Comics / Shot at History. And we did a quiz. We did a movie quiz, and no spoilers, but Chris, how did you do?
Shut up. Well, you want to call it a quiz, and quiz in inverted commas, really, to be honest, because the questions were pish. The
questions were awesome. I made those questions up in about an hour, so they were awesome. Mm-hmm. But look out for that. Yeah, go over to the IndieGoGo and find that and get those podcast episodes, because we all came together for a pretty cool cause. It's not great what's happening over there, and there's been a few podcasters that are in our networks who are very much affected by this. So everybody's banded together to do something for it. And you can get that on IndieGoGo, so please check it out. We'll be posting it on the podcast on the site.
Yeah, it'll be all over the place. We'll share it like hell, and hopefully everybody who's listening to this will share it like hell, and we'll get some money.
Help some podcast brothers out.
Exactly.
And people who have lost their homes. So, Chris, this is your bit.
Yeah, this might be shoddy as hell, you know.
I'm assuming it will be, because I can see you right now. The listeners can't see you, but I can see it, and it's not a pretty sight. I mean, today...
Is it ever?
Today, you definitely have a face for radio. So...
Thank you very much.
Let's go for it. The pimpage.
Okay. It's fine. It's going to be a mess. Okay, so you can find us on Facebook and Twitter if you search for 365 Flicks Podcast, as always. We are on a couple of cheeky networks. We are on the Tangier Network. We are on Wicked Radio, We Be Geeks, and our British home, nerdly.co.uk. You can also find us, if you want to, on the Twitters, on hashtag Podern Family. Nearly forgot the name of it there, Kev. Have a look for us on the iTunes. I'll leave a cheeky 5-star review as well. That's very much appreciated, as always. It's nice when we get those through.
We've been getting a few. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, I think we've received like another 3 or 4.
That's what you want. That's what you want. So yeah, leave a message, leave a review for us. It keeps us going, keeps us happy. You can also have a look for us on any other third-party podcasting app that you can get on the Android, or do they still do Windows phones? I don't think they do they?
I think they do, but only people who work at Windows have them.
Yeah, why would you? Any other third-party podcasting app on the Android. You can also have a look for us on the Stitcher and the Satchel as well. Have a look for our website, 365flexpodcast.co.uk. Have I forgotten anything? I feel like I've forgotten something.
You haven't forgotten anything, because I didn't really give you the lowdown on this one yet. But there is another group on the Twitter that you can find us on called the #BritPodScene. I think I'm
going to have to remember another name.
No, I'll remember this one because it's a long one. So yeah, basically there is Paton Family is an amazing group that we're on, and there's a lot of fantastic podcasts on there. But this one is specifically geared towards the British podcasts out there. So
cool.
It kind of helps us out, get in amongst the British podcasts, and the British podcasts, we're all helping each other out. So look for #BritPodScene, like and retweet all those guys, follow a few of them. I have actually found about 5 or 6 this week just through this, and I've really started listening to them. Beyond the Box Set, I cannot actually, you would love this one. They basically, they take a movie, they watch the movie, they give it a little bit of a critique, and then they pitch a potential sequel or prequel or franchise to that movie. Has to be one that doesn't have a sequel or prequel or whatever. And it's actually quite interesting what some of them are coming up with. So you get the review of the movie, and then you get a pitch for like a sequel from like 3 different people. And it's interesting to see where people think, oh, that might have went there, that could have went there. I really enjoy listening to this one, so I recommend them wholeheartedly. You've got Rough Giraffe on there, really another good podcast. You've got Pat and Clive Live, some really good podcasts. And if you're an American and an Anglophile, and let's face it, everybody is, it's British.
Yeah. So
we now technically have 2 British homes.
Multi-home people.
Mind, Nerdly will always be number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Because Phil, I still want that box set. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the interview with Marc Zammit. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. He was an absolute legend of a bloke, and he's worked with Reg from The Bill.
That is officially the most famous guest we've had then.
Well, obviously, if you've worked with Reg, you've worked with like the top of British calibre, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And so listen to that. He's had some interesting as hell projects. He's worked with a couple of guests of the show before. He's worked with Lance, who's doing Pegasus Bridge, which looks like it's underway. Yeah,
so a couple of photos that's been put on the Facebooks, and they've been filming some scenes and what have you, so that's awesome.
Exciting times for Pegasus Bridge, exciting times for Lance. He's also worked with Mr. Tom Paton, who is recently at Fright Fest with Redwood. If you go back to episode 85, we were on the set of Black Site, his next film coming up, which starred Mike Beckenham, who is also kind of connected to Marc in another way. So that's can't really go into the details on that one, but he's also connected. So there we go.
Yeah.
And the interview is currently in progress.
This isn't my story. My part in the story is actually pretty small. I wasn't there at the beginning. I wasn't there at the end. But I've got to be the one to tell this story, because no one else will tell it right. There have been documentaries, articles in print and online, but none of those will tell you who Frankie Moore is. I've heard some say he was troubled, that he was a thug, that he fell in with the wrong kind of people and that's why he disappeared. I guess a person just can't be a person. I don't know why people just can't hear the facts and make their own minds up. Everyone's got a bloody opinion. We let Frankie down.
It's not yours, pal.
Tonight on Indie Talk, we are joined by actor, writer, director, producer, sings the theme tune, writes the theme tune, Marc Zammit, who I've been trying to get on for some time now. How are you doing, Marc?
I'm very good, buddy. I'm very good. I love that. Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
You have got a lot of feathers in your cap, my good friend. Like when I've been checking the social media, it seems like every week it's like, yeah, I'm setting up a production company now. Yeah, I'm doing this now. I'm doing that now. You're a very, very busy man. So thank you for taking the time to sit down with us tonight.
There you go. You can add a podcaster to the list now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my own podcast channel. Learn a saxophone. That's it. Compose the music.
As long as you stay away from the entertainment podcast genre and stay away from our turf, that's fine, Marc.
Oh yes. I see you got the sci-fi weekender in the back as well, so I might do something like that as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's our little swag wall behind us. We get free things sent to us, Marc, if you've got anything you want to send over.
Nice.
Nice. You know what? I've got some Yazoo. Do you like Yazoo?
Not strawberry.
We've got like 3 boxes. It's amazing.
No worries, man. No worries. Marc is on the show tonight to talk about mainly his passion project, Homeless Ashes, which is a movie that you've spent 2.5 to 3 years in the making kind of thing. I mean, that's a hell of a long time to be spending on a movie, Marc, but...
Yeah, I know. I'm already drained.
Every time I see this, you're so passionate about this, and it's kind of had me totally interested every time you go on with the IndieGoGo, or every time there's an update or something. I'm in on this one. Like, I'm loving the look of it, and so I really just wanted to get you on and talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
But what we're going to do first, just a sort of little icebreaker to get the conversation flowing.
Sounds like a date. I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's always a date with us. That's why we've got the big
a cyber date.
That's why we've got the big light beside us. So we're going to get into Homeless Ashes in a moment, but first of all, we noticed, and I got the chance to review a couple of years, about 2 years ago now.
Be 2 years.
2 years ago, I got the chance to review a movie called Pandorica, which was directed by a 3-time guest of the show, Tom Paton. And, of course, you were in it as the badass Ares. So let's just start off there. How did Pandorica come about for you, my friend?
So, Tom just got in touch with me. He found me on social media. And he pretty much just got in touch and he said, "Hey, Marc, I've got this character called Ares for my film Pandorica." I said, "Yeah, let me read the script." And I was sold. Like, Tom is he's got such a creative mind. His mind's just always popping up with new ideas. And when you get, I would like to be in Tom's brain just for one day to find out where he gets his ideas from. And the idea that he had was, like, obviously this Pandora box and this kind of end of the world post-apocalypse. And I thought, you know what? I remember sitting there for about 3 months sitting there going, I'd like to be in something that's like Hunger Games / Vikings / like a sci-fi / an end of the world, and it just come all in one with Pandorica. Because like Tom was like, right, you got to sound like the guys from Vikings, and it's like a bit of survival, and it's like end of the world. I was like, this is what I want. So I read the script and went in for a reading and had the audition, and yeah, Tom just offered me the role, and ever since then I was just like, wow, like it was such a pleasure to be on, because you know Tom's a very talented director, and it's great to do a combination with someone that's especially just done their first debut feature film.
Yeah.
For me, what was a blessing to be part of, because you know I've seen Tom really developing his career since then. So it's actually been a blessing to be part of his debut feature film and see him rise above. So yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, we just spent the day on set a few weeks ago. We spent the day on set of his new movie Black Site, and it was
amazing.
It was great watching them all do their thing.
It was I.
It was amazing.
And you're right. He's a bit like a kid with ADHD. To be fair,
he's fun. He's so fun.
He's great fun, but it's just the way he seems to like yeah. And I just spending the day was great. So, what can you tell us about your time on the movie set for Pandorica? Like, what did you make of the paintball arena?
Yeah, I thought, you know, I was never walking around. I was thinking, what's all these white dots? And then I said to Tom, it's like they glow in the dark. I was like, is that going to like appear in the film? And he went, no, that'd be fine. We'll Photoshop it. So it's like, you can imagine there's like about 1 million white dots on the floor. And I don't know how he managed to get rid of it. I don't even want to know, because doing film, I'm just thinking, gosh, getting into production now, I'm just like, things like that just make my brain go crazy. Especially if you're shooting on like high definition as well, because everything just stands out. But being on the set with Tom and being on set with Pandorica, it was a great experience. It was my first time doing a film what was at night as well. So for 12 days straight, we was just like waking up going to sleep in the morning to around about 4 o'clock, and then waking up, and I felt like a vampire for a whole like week or two, because it was just getting up at night, and then we'll finish at like 5 a.m. and I see the sunrise, and I'm like, ah! Like, 'cause the sun's coming out, and then I like crawl back into my bed, get up at night. But everyone was great. Like, there was everyone on that film set just had so much passion, and was behind Tom to get the film made. You know, like, I made a lot of good friends on there, such as George Burt, Craig Hind, and a lot of the guys, even Jade Hobday, she's one of my close friends now. She's one of my best friends, actually. Like, you know, I made such a good connection with so many amazing people on there, and it was a great experience. I really generally think it was open doors to my. I wouldn't say it was the break of my career, but it opened a lot of doors to my career. Was really nice. So
yeah, definitely. I was going to say it couldn't have been the big break, because you did an episode of The Bill, don't forget, and that is
I saw that.
that's like if you're a Brit actor, you have to have done it at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I done The Bill, I was so scared. I must have been around about, God, that was so long ago now. That was I must have been about 17 when I done that.
Wasn't that your first role? Was that your first role?
Well, actually, my first role was in Agent Cody Banks 2.
Oh, nice.
And I had one role where I just had to go hi, and then they cut it anyway. But the Bill was actually my first guest star role in TV. And I remember when I went to the audition, I was so nervous, and I went in there and I just stuttered every single line of my audition. And I turned around to the woman and I said, "I'm so sorry, I'm dyslexic, so I find it very hard to read off the paper." She went, "It's fine, take your time." And my dad was at the audition as well, so I was just sitting there like a complete lunatic. And I remember just walking out and walking down the hall with my dad, and a director came running behind me. I thought she was going to rugby tackle me. And then she just turned around and she was like, "Marc, are you free on these dates?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And then I got back to the college on the same day, and they said I got the part, and I just literally jumped, hit the roof, and the roof was on fire. So yeah, it was amazing. I remember when I got that, and filming that was so cool as well, because I got to act alongside Amelia Min, who's in Maze Runner, who's done so well with his career now. He's gone from above and beyond. He's in a series now called Sense8, and he's just gone so far. So it's nice to kind of like see myself from The Bill, and obviously he was already established at this time anyway, but to work with someone and then actually see them go from The Bill to such a high level, in especially in America, you know, hitting a lot of big mainstream stuff, and he's done incredibly well, and he's actually quite an inspiration for me, because, you know, especially when you see that you're sitting there acting with someone on your first role, and you think, wow, it can happen to anyone. Like, there's a guy, when I done Silent Witness I'd done with a guy, a young, very talented guy as well, called Malachi Kirby, who was in it, and now he's the lead in Roots, and he's in Black Mirror, and you know, it's just amazing when you start that young, and then you see people that you've like been acting with young, just all cracking their parts and making their breaks, and you know, it's eventually coming. I feel like it's eventually kind of coming my way. What's quite nice, and it's just, you know, that kind of race to kind of all just kind of cheer each other on. So it's gone a long way. About The Bill, yes, after all.
The question is, did you get to share a scene with Reg?
I did.
Oh yes, you legend.
Reg is he the kind of skinny guy?
Yeah, Reg.
He was always on the counter, wasn't he?
Everybody hated him.
Yeah. I did. I actually become really good friends with Reg as well.
Oh,
actually.
you legend!
He's actually a really, really nice guy, Reg. Yeah, because I remember I had to do a scene where I had to run away from the police, and Reg was there, thing. But yeah, I remember meeting Reg, and yeah, great guy. Because I was working with Honey. Was it Honey? I think one of the characters was called Honey as well. Yeah, I absolutely loved the bill, and it was so weird because as soon as you do something like that, things kind of come back to back. So from the bill, I got a part in After You've Gone. I didn't even audition for it, and I played a character Bradley with Nicholas Lyndhurst.
Nice.
And I was dressed as a prawn. So if you manage to find that, then have your giggles and laughs at it. Why it's there.
I'm gonna have to look for
Yeah.
that.
So here's a question for you. You've done the bill. You've done Silent Witness. You've worked with Nicholas Lyndhurst. Doctor Who next?
I would love to do Doctor Who. I would. I generally would. And we've actually got Terry Molloy.
Yeah, you have.
In Homeless Ashes, and he's such a fantastic man. I love him. I turned up to Portsmouth recently when we were shooting, and he's just wearing blue trousers, and I thought, I love you. But yeah, I would love to do Doctor Who. I'm not exactly I'm not a massive fan of Doctor Who. Don't get me wrong, and I wished I was. But I'm more into kind of post-apocalypse and Fallout, things like that. So when it comes to Doctor Who knows? Maybe I might be a good Doctor. Maybe
there you go. There you go. Well, you never know who's listening.
You never know.
So, we mentioned Tom there, but you've also worked with another former guest of 365, Lance Neilsen, on The Journey.
I did, yes.
So we've both seen The Journey. We both loved The Journey. Lance and Alex have been coming on, or going to be coming on, to talk about the DVD release of The Journey for probably about the same time as Kev's been speaking to you, Marc.
Probably.
So what can you tell us about the experience of working on The Journey?
The Journey for me was quite a good turnout for me, to be honest, because I remember when Lance was first making that, because Lance found me on, and Lance is a very talented writer, by the way, and a very talented director, and Lance found me ages ago on MySpace days. He come across my headshot, and he just said, "Hey, you got a great headshot." He said, "I'd love to be my film Jericho's Walls Are Falling." So I thought, okay, cool. And we got to know each other through that, and so there was a really nice relationship with me and Lance, because me and Lance, even though sometimes we butt heads, we got a lot of respect and a lot of love for each other as well. And he's kind of like a big brother to me, because he'll always look out for me. He's always got the best interest for me, and he just wants me to do well, and he believes that I can go far as well, and I believe that he can go far. And when he was doing The Journey, there was actually nothing for me in The Journey, and then what happened is one of the actors, Duncan Powell, I think it is, he got cast in 24.
Nice.
So he couldn't do the rest of the film. So Lance had to basically restructure his whole film, because he's already shot half of it. And he's just basically said, "Marc, I'm going to do it about 3 guys, not 1. And he goes, I would love you to play one of the guys. What's a guy that's, I don't want to spot it.
No.
But he's actually going through a crisis in his life, and Jason Fleming's character comes along and says, "Hey, don't be stupid," basically. And we have a nice little chat at the bar. But it's quite nice, because my film is the opening of the film. It's kind of like the narration, if that makes sense. And then I appear at the beginning and at the end. I don't think it can get better than that. It's kind of like, hey, come and do the job for one day, and then rest, and then you finish it off as well. So it's like, the opening and the opening and the ending of the film. And I loved it. I loved working with Lance. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Greece with them, because my scenes wasn't in Greece.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I did say to Lance, this is not on. No, I'm joking. But no, it was a great experience, and it was, for me, the biggest pleasure out of that was, it was the first time I got to work with Lance properly on screen like that, and see him follow his passion and follow his work, and be there to support that, and be there to see how he works. And the second thing for me as well, what was really pleasuring, is to work with Jason Fleming, because Jason Fleming is such a talented actor. He's so natural and authentic and organic in his performance, and to kind of bounce off him. And I was nervous, I was like, let me keep the same level and pace here with this talented actor. the pleasure of working with him, and not only that, I've managed to build quite a nice relationship with Jason because of Lance. Because now Jason's in my film, and it's a pleasure to have him on board, and I can't wait to work with him again and Lance. So yeah, it was a great experience on the journey. We had Greek food as well. It was fantastic. I think that was the best part, really. To be honest, I'm joking. He'll kill me if I said that. So, yeah.
I think to be honest, as an actor making your way and sort of getting Lance to put you in a movie like that, and then to be sat across the table from Jason Fleming, I don't think I could have got my words out.
Yeah, no, seriously, I was so happy because I think as an actor, because it's quite weird now because I've become so humble in my career now because you kind of get to a point where you're like, oh wow, like at the point I was like, boom, I was like dancing around, I was like, yeah, I got a nice scene with Jason Fleming, like he's a cool guy and he's talented, and it's for an actor. Actors also have to be businessmen, and businesswomen, actresses, because you've got to kind of say to yourself, right, what should I use on my show reel? And opening up your show reel, for example, with a scene with Jason Fleming, you get a lot of respect from directors and casting directors and producers and things like that. And then it gets to a point of like, okay, what do you need next for your show reel? And then Pandorica comes along, and it's like, okay, well, this is me playing a character and how I hold this character, and then something else comes in, and then you start taking things out of your show reel and replacing it with the new. But when you get to work with someone like Jason, I was just sitting there, I was over the moon, and I think it's to that point now where I want to keep that level. I want to keep that level of acting alongside very talented people that are unknown, and also working alongside very talented people that are known as well.
Excellent.
That's great. So is he as nice a guy as we think he is?
He is he's a legend. He's so cool. It makes me laugh because he's just a lad. He's a lad.
He comes across that way.
Yeah, he's just so humble. There's a lot of things that happen in this industry. A lot of people become successful, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but like a lot of people become successful. Sometimes it gets to their head. They end up thinking they're priority or better than everyone else. And he doesn't do that, He's just grounded. He knows where he comes from. So he knows who he is. And he just goes, you know what? I just love working with people that are talented or creating good stuff. Definitely. And he wants to support that. He's one of these actors that definitely wants to support the indie film making as well. He really is. He's an actor that will go, hey, if you're doing a film that's indie film, I'm in. Because I know the industry. And he's, hands down to him, he's probably one of the most supportive British established actors out there.
To be honest, if you go back and listen to our interview with Lance, I'm pretty sure you could quote him as saying exactly that same thing. Yeah. So it's you're not the first person to say it, and it does sound like an awesome thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have any if Jason ever asked for a favour and he ever turned around and said, Marc, I need a little favour for anything. Hands down, I'll do it without even blinking an eyelid because I know how supportive he is. Awesome. So, hands down.
That's all good. That's the answer we want. So another project that you've been working on with Lance, Marc, is Pegasus Bridge. Lance told us all about that. Yeah. And that was the first appearance on the show of Mike Beckingham as well. Yeah. So can you give us a little update of how everything's going with Pegasus Bridge, and can you tell us a little bit about your role in the movie?
I'll tell you, this is the only time that I get to hate Lance. Because he said he wants me to shave my hair. Exactly, and to me that's such a big thing. I'm gonna feel like I've gone from what's that character in E.T. Not E.T. Addams Family, the one with the long hair.
Uncle Fester.
I feel like I've gone from Uncle Fester to the baldy guy, like.
Cousin It, yeah.
Right. Okay.
But the film in general, it's a great script. It's a fantastic script, and it's great that he's highlighting the World War of obviously Pegasus Bridge, because that's not really been touched on that much, as much as World War films. And I can't wait to play the role. I generally can't, because there's a fantastic cast attached, and Lance is still in his kind of development side of things. He's really pushing hard. What's the hardest thing in filmmaking, let's be honest, is to get the funding. Hence why I'm I crowdfund, and it is such a pain because it's one of these things. It's like you need the stars to get distribution, but then you need the funding to get distribution.
Yeah.
But then stars want to know that the film's funded, but you can't get the film funded unless you have the distribution. And you're in a vicious circle, and it's like, hello, like, what do we do? And you're just like, it's depending on an investor to trusting you, and the way to get that is to have a bankable background and creditable background. And unfortunately, like where Lance hasn't released a journey yet, obviously that's not working in his favor with Pegasus. And I hope that he does manage to. And it's not my place to discuss because I don't know how far it is. But I think if he's one of these people, he really prevails into getting what he wants, and I believe that he will get there. He will do it, and he will make it. And I hope he does, because it is a great film, and a lot of people are behind him. And I know Lance, he puts in 110% into any kind of work that he does. I'm playing a power trooper, so jump at a plane.
We are looking forward to that one, and we're keeping an eye out, and we are hoping that it all comes through. That's everybody else's movies that you've been in, so let's talk about your movie.
Don't worry about mine. I hate talking about me.
No. Let's talk about Homeless Ashes, because, like I say, this was one of the ones that I think it might have been a case of the people that we were kind of speaking to at the time. Sort of, you're connected to them in a way as well. Like, you've either been in their movies or you're, plus you're a bit of a social media whore, so there's no denying that. And then you obviously popped up on my feed. Marc Zammit came along. I'd seen you in Pandorica. I'd seen you in The Journey after we'd spoke to Lance, and I was like, right, okay, let's see what the guy's doing. And then I came across Homeless Ashes, which instantly struck a chord with me, because it just looks like such a passion project. So let's just talk about it now, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go for it. What's the question?
So the first question we'll start with, because I realised there wasn't actually a question there. I do that a hell of a lot, and then the people we're speaking to kind of look at me and go, "Was there a question there?"
Yeah. It come across my heart. It made me feel so excited. Let's talk about that, and I'm like,
yeah, I know. So first of all, let's start with the easiest question. What can you tell us about the story of the movie?
The story about the movie is about a young boy called. I don't mind telling too much spoilers, because I think it's more about before I say this spoiler as well, I think it's more about how it's going to affect people, and how it's going to make people portray. How you're going to portray this? How you're going to take this in and digest this and let it be an influence on you towards homelessness. So that's what my aim is towards this film. But this film is about a young boy called Frankie, who is facing domestic violence at home from his father. He basically stands up to his father and his fears, and he's only about 10 years old, and he runs away from home, and that's what creates him being homeless. And then it's kind of going through his journey and what the actual rawness of what homeless people actually do go through, and the real situations that are out there as well. For example, you got things from trafficking, you've got things from there's called like drug running and things like that. So what a lot of the older people do is, if there's a homeless child or child that are very vulnerable, they'll basically take them into their clique. They'll make them do dirty work for them because they can't get arrested and things like that if they get caught. So it's like, it's the real rawness of how his life grows up, and it's also the people that he meets as well in this journey. So it's that are homeless and how they've become homeless and why they're homeless. So it's all kind of trying to touch with these different characters. And the way that I've kind of done this film is I've tried to create all these different kind of characters where it's kind of a story of why they've become homeless. So people can go, wow, yeah, I've heard of something like that. Or, yes, I know someone that's been in that situation, or someone that's lost their home in this situation, or someone that's been through that situation. And the way that I've kind of created this film, I thought, and the reason why it's taken so long to develop, it's not because of the funding, it's because of me being an absolute lunatic. And it comes down to all my influences. So it's it's, for example, I've created all the characters in the film of the homeless characters a bit like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So, you know, there's all these nice kind of personalities and enjoyable personalities, ones that you love, ones that you laugh at, ones that you feel sorry for. And then I've created a bit like Forrest Gump, with this whole journey of all the way through the film of the things that he manages to achieve and the impact that he has on other people's lives that he's involved with. For example, there's a girl called Nicola, who is a very wealthy girl who he knows since he was young. And basically, there's someone rich here that's going through the same kind of crisis in relation to what he's going through in his life. And that kind of creates the equality that someone that's very wealthy can be in the same situation as someone that is homeless. And then it's things like Drive that kind of got my inspiration with the lights and the kind of writing style. And there's just so many films that have really made an impact on this film, and it is a passion project. But it's also, this film isn't just for me, because I said to myself and to my mum when I was young, because I come from a council estate, I come from a very, very poor background. I was pretty much nearly homeless at the age of 11. So for me, when I done this film, I said to myself, and I said, if I ever become successful in my career, I will give back to the community. And I done Pandorica, and to me that is a breaking ice to success. And I thought to myself, all right, well, now I know that I've got a good social media presence. I know how to build a social media presence. And I thought, right, this is the time. This is the time that I have to keep that promise. And I've actually kind of not put my acting on pause, but I've put my acting on pause, not taking on as many roles at the moment, just so I can get this film done. Because I don't want it to be one of them things that I start and I let it fade in the background and then come back to it whenever I feel like I want to come back to it. It's either in or it's now or never kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, now we're filming, and it's. I've cried about 10 times on set because I'm seeing it come to life, and I'm like, oh my god! So it's just such an amazing feeling. It truly is.
So is it? You mentioned you wanted to make it ever since you started acting and that kind of thing. So is it a case of you feel it's important to raise awareness for the subject matter, Marc, or is there another aspect of it that you think is important to tell?
Yeah, I think it's it's something that really is happening in the world these days. You know, that you've got that thing that happened in London with the tower block what caught on fire. Yeah. Now even the floods in America, and you know, you've got so many different things that are happening. And it's so sad to say this because I really want to kind of project homelessness and raise awareness to that. And it's not for me, you know. I'm not bothered about what this does for me as like in my acting career. I'm more about what it's going to do for the community, and I really want to kind of give back to that. What's very important for me, and the way that I have to do that is to make sure that I do a film that is mind blowing. And if it's mind blowing, if it's going to have that strong impact where people go, wow, that was a good film to watch, then that's obviously going to help spread the film around like a word of mouth kind of thing. Yeah. And it's one of them things. And a lot of people sometimes have a go at me, but for example, when two homeless men helped the people in Manchester. Yeah. You know, and then for some reason they become heroes. But even then I said, look, this is why I'm doing my film. Like, I'm trying to raise awareness on these people are not just animals. These are human beings. You know, they are good people. They are just stuck in a very bad situation. Life didn't agree with them at some point in their life, and the life has turned on them, or something bad has happened to them in their life, and they've got very, very unlucky, and they're in a situation where they're homeless. And people saying, oh, why are you using that to advertise? And I said, because if I don't, the media will brush it past, and 2 weeks later you'll forget about it, and you won't even know who these two guys was, because there'll be new news. And it's true, and it's the same with the tower. Like, when's the last time you heard about the tower? You haven't heard about it. It's been
that's the thing.
Yeah, and this is what it is, and it's kind of this is what my film is, and it's not just to raise awareness on homelessness in the UK or USA. It's to raise it worldwide, in Kenya, in India, in Europe, in Australia. This happens worldwide, and it's all about, for me, this film is what's very important for me, because I come from a poor background. I've sat down with rich people. I've sat down in bars and clubs with rich people. You know, so I know the balance between the two lives. And for me, it's about equality. And I always say to myself, I am nobody. I deserve nothing. And I am the lowest of the low, what means I am equal to every single person in this world. Like, I never think that I'm better or above anyone. I'm always at the same level. And that's what this film's about. It's about equality, that just because this man's homeless, it doesn't mean that he's not worthy of anything. And I think in this kind of generation that we live in, everything is very titled. So I'd be like, oh, he's a rich man. He's a wealthy man. He's a homeless man. He's a poor man. He's a black man. He's a white man. He's a brown man. You know, it's like everything's kind of labeled. He's a Christian. He's a Muslim. And when everything's kind of labeled like that, you end up with a situation what creates division. And when you create division, it creates separation. And that's when equality becomes wishy-washy, and everyone starts treating everyone with disrespect or differently, and priority as well. Maybe it's just my view, but that's what's. Look at me, I'm getting really.
No, that's good, man. That's a really important, a really important message to tell, because, as you say, it's about labels, and yet that's what you get on Facebook and Twitter, and as you say, he's a homeless man, he's a refugee, he's a whatever.
Yeah, and he's not a person.
People, exactly, Kev, exactly. People are so quick to say or to vilify someone because he lives on the streets or because he's in a jungle in Cali, and it's very much in my frame of mind. I guess you think the same, as it's very much you have no idea. Yeah, you've got no idea what this person's been through. So that's a really great message.
And it's one of these things, and that's why we were sitting there for ages with my business partner James Fuller. It was like, what quote can we use? And it was homeless, not invisible. You know, because that's what people created. But I'm going to give you guys a little treat as well, actually, while we're here. This is the cinematography, and this is the style that we've been shooting so far. So I thought I'd give you guys... it's quite nice because we get to see your little reactions as well. So this is...
very nice. Very nice.
That was great.
There's a lot of influences that have come from this film, the way that we're shooting it, with the styles of, like, Fight Club, Stranger Things, all kind of different kind of moods that we're going for in the film. So...
That third one with Angela and with it's Angela and the young lad, that looks very Finchery.
Yeah.
Very Gone Girl.
David Finch, yeah. That's the inspiration from it as well. So yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. So and that young boy Hector's unbelievable. I was watching this. I recommend him every day. He's so talented.
So is it several stories that you're telling, Marc? And you might not, don't tell us if it gives away spoilers, but is it several different tales that you're telling, or is it one big narrative?
It's one big narrative. Right, so it's because what happens with Frankie is it's all about the people he kind of meets in the film, and what kind of impact he comes in their life and what impact they come in his life. Because every single person that you meet, and it could be it's kind of like life inspirations, really. You could just meet one person that could tell you one thing, and for some reason you will tell your mate it when it comes up in the future. I don't know if you've ever had that before, where someone goes, oh, like, this is how you cook spaghetti, and then you meet someone that likes spaghetti, and then you go, oh, I know how to cook spaghetti because my mate used to teach me. And you only met that guy for like 2 hours. You know, it's that kind of thing, and this is what this film is about, is the small things that Frankie do, but how of a massive impact it comes in. I just wish I could tell you some of the scenes as an example, but it's just going to be so spoily. But when I tell people and people that have read the script, they just go, "Wow! Like this is just wow!" And it makes me happy because I didn't write it. I've got a writer who's called George Wilcox, who wrote the script. I gave him the concept idea and the story and the brief, and he just wrote it. And he's been redrafting it every time I send him a new idea, and he probably hates my guts because I'm like, George, I just thought of a new character for this meaning, and this is why I'm going to do this. And he's on like draft 16 thinking, I hate this guy, I'm never writing a script for him again. but it's what he's done with it and how we've kind of tweaked it. It's just become for me, maybe because it's my film, but to me it's such a beautiful story, and people that have read it have been over the moon with it. Virginia Hay has read it. from Mad Max, and she just went right and she said, Marc, if you film this right and do it right, it can win awards. And to me, the biggest reward of winning, like the biggest reward that I could win with this film would be that it impacts people's lives.
Yeah.
It's not to sit there and go, hey everyone, this means that you've got to give all the homeless people in the world your money. No, this is not the case that I'm trying to do. It might be someone that watches this film and might say, actually, I used to ignore homeless people, but now when I walk down the street, I'm going to say hello and say, how are you? How's your day? Or give them a sandwich, or give them some change if they have some change. It might be someone that goes, wow, this film really hit me so hard. I actually want to support a homeless shelter charity in my area. It might be. It could influence people in different ways. Oh, I always see that local guy down the street, and I never know his story. Maybe I should sit down and talk to him and see if there's anything that I could do. Does he need a job? There might be people that have a business and they think, actually, let me hire some homeless people that need work and things like that. It's going to impact people differently, and it's not saying, hey, I'm gonna change the world with it. But every single person that watches that film, I'm hoping they turn around and they have some influence to do something in their own way with their own community that they're living in.
It's a damn good reason to make a movie.
Certainly is. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Can't argue with that at all.
So I've been keeping an eye on your Homeless Ashes social medias, and you actually invited me into the VIP group on Facebook, and thank you very much.
I did, yes.
Thanks very much for that, because there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Some great stuff as well, little behind the scenes sort of pictures and footage and stuff, which is all awesome. But one of the questions I want to ask you, and it might step on spoiler territory, so don't answer it as in, full on. But you were saying there that you're getting teary-eyed, you're getting emotional, and you're crying a little bit when you're making this movie, and I'm assuming that's all tears of joy. But one of the posts you had the other day was about quite intense scenes. How do you find those types of scenes to be filming with young Hector?
With young Hector, that was literally last week. It was a very, very intense, scenes, and it's so emotionally draining. They actually made you physically draining as well. Before I actually cast Hector, I knew he was going to do good anyway. I just looked at him. I went, "This is the guy." And then I met up with him and his mother, and I said, "How do you feel about the script? How do you feel about the role?" And I just made sure that he understood that this was a film and this was not real. Yeah. And his mum done that clarity. And this guy was excited. He's like, "Yeah, look, I've been practicing to learn how to cry." And I was like, "Gosh, this guy's there's me sounding like so miserable, and there's him like, let's go, let's film." And but what I had to do is I like doing things in a very structured way. I like, because obviously this is my first debut film that I'm actually directing as well. Yeah. And there's a lot of pressure with that because, like, the only things that I have directed is small commercials, festivals, or show reels, and it's like and a short. So me going from that to boom, let me do a feature film and funding it and producing it and acting in it myself, I must be absolutely bonkers. Yeah. But like, I thought, you know what? I always say this in like motivation talks. I think if you can't push yourself to what you like, everyone has limits, but if you can't push yourself over them limits or push yourself beyond what you believe that you can do, how do you know what you can achieve? Because like the more you push until the point where you go, right, I've broken, then that's where you know that you've broken, or maybe you can extend that and go further than that. And that's what I've been doing, and I still haven't broke. I'm still like thinking, when am I going to break? Because I don't know how. Like my friends are like, "Marc, are you okay? You've had like 4 Red Bulls on set today." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. What's next?" So Red Bull's kind of my, there you go, product placement. Red Bull's kind of my survival at the moment. But Hector, I wanted to do this right, because for me, this film, I want to do it perfect. And I've said to my crew, if there's something wrong with the shot, I'm not going to be one of these directors go, "Oh yeah, well, I know better next time on my next film." If I know there's a situation there, I'm going to fix it there, and I'm going to do it there, or I'm going to reshoot that, because I want to get this film to a point where it's perfect. It's not just go, "Oh, okay, we've done it already. Now let's just move on." no, we shoot it again. So how I've done this with Hector is I thought, okay, how can I, this is a very powerful scene, this is a very emotional scene. I thought, how can I prepare for this? And I've done a rehearsal. So I got Dean Maskell and I got Angela to come in, and Hector to come in for rehearsal. It was about 2 hours. And I'd done this kind of game where I said it's true or false, but I said that Angela and the kid was a team and Dean was on his own. So that they always felt like, haha, we're like kind of fighting like against him kind of thing, but more in a friendly way. Mm-hmm. And then it's a kind of a trust game that I had to kind of show Hector that he can trust Dean, and Dean's actually a very nice guy, and he's a very sweet guy, and kind of build like I've played a lot of fun games between them so they can get used to it. And then I've done a simple, it's called a gentle read through. So they had a little gentle read through, and then I kind of worked my way up in the rehearsal with the levels and tones. And Hector was loving it. He was like, this is great. I was like, I love this kid. I just love him. And when we actually filmed, God, I've never, ever met such a talented child actor, or actor even, that is so committed to the role. Mm-hmm. Like, when he had to be, there's a lot of emotional things where he had to cry. And when he had to be there, he would go out the room and he would get himself there and he would come back in. And even he would do that when he wasn't even on shot, when he was on reverse of the actors, because he just loved doing it. And I tell you, like, some of the people that have watched this footage of obviously what we shot so far, they're just like, wow, Marc, that kid, I don't know where you found him. He goes, but this is like E.T. with Steven Spielberg when he found his child actor. And I'm like, it feels like it. And it's not just Hector, and it's the actors that are like Dean and Angela that are making it easy for Hector as well. And it's good that they've got a child actor like Hector, because they're getting to bounce off him even more. So like when the Hector's acting like that, Hector's actually affecting them, because he's breaking their hearts on set. You know, so it's like for Angela, it's even emotionally like hitting her seeing him, because I remember at one point when we was filming one of the scenes, as she saw his face and he had tears streaming, and then it just hit her, and I just see her face like hit streams of tears. I was like, this is great, guys. It's like, I think I got a picture. I literally got up and I just hugged Angela. I was like, that's great. And I was crying. I felt like Mel Gibson, like crying after every shot. And it's for me, it was so powerful, because I think Hector's one of these actors that you really need to look out for. And I can't wait for everyone to see the film, because when they see the film and they see this kid, I'm telling you, this kid is going to be a star. Without a doubt, he's just so talented. And I'll give it credit to Angel as well, who's playing Nicole, young Nicole. And I remember when we first shot in Portsmouth, and there was 2 kids, and they're sitting there, and I was like, right, guys, I just want you to do a little rehearsal. Just want you to just block it out so I can see what it's going to look like on camera. And they'd done the action. I went to my DOP, Richard. I went, did you record that? He went, no. I went, that was great. And they're just so natural. It's like they wasn't planning. They wasn't staging their words. They wasn't thinking. I just remember Hector had this boat, and he's just like talking to the girl, like, and he's taking bits of the boat out, flicking it out, pouring the water out while he's talking to her, saying his lines, and she's like picking up the remote control car, and it just looks so authentic. I was like, this is, sorry for my language, it's fucking amazing. I was like, this is great. This is what I want. It's just so authentic, and it's made me worried, because I think that I need to get myself to their level. Because when I play my role, I've really got to get there. But I'm so excited for Hector to just show him how talented he is. He is truly talented, and I think the blessing with Hector is that he doesn't realize how good he is. He just enjoys it. Yeah, and he's just passionate. And for me, it's like looking at a young version of me. It seriously is. It's incredible.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's fine. So you're calling bullshit on the never work with animals or children thing then?
yeah, pretty much.
Now, you've got a hell of a lot of talented people attached to this project, Marc. So you know, like that, we already mentioned Jason Fleming, Lou Temple, Angela Dixon, Mike Beckingham as well. So I mean, how awesome is it getting all these talented as hell people attached to your project?
It's fucking awesome, right? No, sorry for my language, guy. I shouldn't really swear, but
it's all right. Don't worry about it.
I honestly wouldn't. I would not worry about that on this podcast.
Can we just put a beep like over Trina? Do you know what? I feel so blessed, and it's a massive thank you to a friend as well, actually. Kevin Leslie, because I remember being at the bar with him once. He said, "Marc, you've got to stop casting your friends. You've got to start casting people that are gonna help make this film happen for you." And when I first started this film, I was just sitting there thinking, "Gosh, you know, like, how am I going to get big stars attached to this film? I don't even have the balls to ask big names to be in this film." And I thought, you know what? I only live once. I could die tomorrow. I'm just going to ask. There's no harm in asking. So I basically contacted Jason Fleming, and I just said, "Hey, would you be interested in playing a role?" And he turned around and he pretty much said, "Yeah, like I'm in, I'm game," and kind of went from there. And as soon as he was attached, I started contacting other people like Angela. I said, "Angela, look, can you? I always want my actors to read the script before giving them a role. I want to know what they think of the script and if it's for them, because there's nothing worse that they don't read the script and then they just go, yeah, I'm gonna take the part, and then they film it and they go, oh, actually this is really bad." So I always want to make sure that they like it. And then Angela, she obviously accepted the role. Mike did as well, Mike Beckenham, and I actually ripped Mike Beckenham in. So I said, "Mike, I really want you to be in the film. I'm going to write you a nice little role in." And then it kind of just went from there. And I had a few friends like Dean Maskell, who was on the film from the start. And it got to that point, I was like, gosh, I'm running around all of these investors, and all of these investors are turning their noses at it because it wasn't a fun film. You know, it's not blowing up buildings or spaceships and tanks firing at each other, or, you know, someone wearing a leather suit running around being a superhero. It's very hard for me to go, gosh, how am I going to get the investment for this film? And I thought, you know what, I give up. But I don't give up on my project. I'm going to make this film myself. Mm-hmm. I will crowdfund myself. And when I actually thought about crowdfunding it, I thought, actually, you know what? This is actually quite a blessing, because a lot of directors or producers would probably not normally take that risk because they think, oh, how would it make me look? And I've seen very, very talented directors like Simon, I think it's Simon Cox, who made K-Man or something like that, and he done fantastic. I've seen my mate A.D. Lane, who's been making this film for 10 years, Invasion of the Not Quite Dead, and he's been making that for 10 years through crowdfund. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the same. If I fail my first crowdfund, it doesn't mean that we can't make the film. It just means that we have to keep slowly building the money, and I have to keep sitting there messaging everyone saying, hey, would you like to donate? And when we got to a point, I said, right, I need to show people what I can do. Mm. I need people to see what I am capable of doing as a filmmaker. So I thought, okay, let's make a teaser. So we made that 8-minute teaser in one day, 10 hours on 700 quid. And I was just running around like a lunatic in London with this camera, like, right, shoot me, and a homeless person just like walking along the street. Like, it was manic. And we done that, and then we started getting attention in. A lot of people started coming forward. Like, I started building relationships with people like Lou Temple from The Walking Dead, and we got talking, and I said, hey, Lou, would you like to read the script of Homeless Ashes, and would you like to look at the character Chico? I said, because I'm still casting Chico. I said, I don't even know who he is, but for some reason I want to see how you play him. And I remember Lou Temple he sent me a self-tape audition of what he thought the character would be, and different accents, and he just smashed it, and I fell in love with him straight away. I was like, gosh, I love this guy. You know, he sent me an amazing self-tape, not even just one, he sent me a few, and, you know, he just sounded like such a nice guy, and I went, I want you to have the role. I said, I would love you to play the part. As soon as Lou Temple was attached, then the roles kind of got attention even more. A lot of people started to know more about it, and the hype built up, and as the hype built up and I created the hype a lot more, I contacted my friend Maria Howell, and I said, would you like to read the script? I said, I would love to write you a part in the film. And now she's attached to it. We do obviously have Mike Beckenham now, like you said, Angela Dickon, then obviously we've got Jason Fleming. So the crew's just gone woof, like this now. And I think this is why my writer hates me, because every time someone comes along, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, I just wrote you a part. And then my writer's like, oh, gosh, who is it now? Okay, here we go. So I think he's actually got a calendar now of lists of people on standby. But, no, it's just, I'm just blabbering on. But I just think with the cast that I have now on the film, I feel so blessed. I feel grateful. I feel appreciative. And it actually really highlights these actors, how supportive they are towards the independent film world and people that are really just trying to make their break in the industry, especially as filmmakers. Because I feel, I don't mean it in a horrible way between mainstream or disrespect between the mainstream, but it always seems that the mainstream always kind of blocks out people and only allow people to come forward when they want them to come forward. And it's just kind of like the doors are really shut. And then it's very hard to even get the big names, because the agencies are taking on the directors that are on the same books as the actors. And it's just like, it just gets that circle where it's like, well, how do these people crack into it as well? So when you get these people that do support the independent film world and they come in and they believe in someone like myself, these people joining this film, they're believing in me, they're believing in the film and they're believing in the cause of it as well. And it's just amazing. I can't wait to work with these people. I can't thank them enough. I've either got to do something amazing or throw a really good rap party. I don't know what one it is.
Both, bit of both.
yeah. So no, I'm dead excited.
You do have a cracking cast in there, and like you say, it sounds like they're coming to you, which that is like half the battle, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And it's even me just kind of just showing them. It's like when I approached Lee Timber, I was like, hey, watch the teaser, watch the thing, and it's just showing people. It's going, look, this is what I'm doing. I'd love you to be involved, and it's great. And the amount of people that are supporting this film, there's so many beautiful people that I've even become good friends with, from people that have been backing the film and donating the film. They all just want to see this film get made, and it touches me because my admin was going through. Oh, cheers, Kev. There you are. My admin was going through the list of all the Indigo people that obviously donated, and she turned around to me. She goes, "Marc, do you realise there's nearly over 1,000 people that have donated?" She goes, "That's over 1,000 people that believe in you and this film." And I went, "Yeah, that's pretty awesome." I said, that's a lot of people that I have to make sure that I do a good job for as well. So it's quite a big responsibility, and when you have that kind of support, it's for me, it's speechless. I don't even know how to react towards it with you guys. I'm just so overwhelmed with it all.
Yeah, I can tell.
I don't even know how to speak. I'm not at that. I sound like a gremlin from. So yeah, it's a blessing, and if people do listen to this, that have supported the film, and even my actors or the crew, especially Richard Oakes and my crew, they've been so amazing. Like Richard Oakes is like my writer. I'm not even joking. This is what happened on the set. So Richard Oakes, my DOP, was on the bed. I'll never leave his side, and he got on the bed to basically get this shot of Angela, the one that you see with the lava lamp.
Yep.
And literally, he's seen me come in behind him, literally spooning him, looking into the camera. And he's thinking, where did you come from? I'm just looking at this. I'm like, yep, that's a good shot. Shoot. Like spooning him. Like, I'll never leave this guy's side. But for me, it's like the crew and all the people, if they are listening, all I can say is I am speechless, and I am so, so grateful. And I'm touched from the bottom of my heart, because it has taken a lot of energy from me to make this film. And because of all the people that have supported the film, it is in my passion and commitment to get this film made. This film will get made.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I can see it in you, and it definitely is going to get made. I can see that.
I get that feeling.
So on that, with the IndieGoGo campaign and all the backers you already have, could you maybe explain to our listeners and hopefully some potential backers what the sort of the IndieGoGo campaign does and what they'd be contributing towards?
So when you contribute towards the campaign, you're basically contributing towards things like paying for insurance, for example. We had to pay public liability because if there is any accidents on set, if someone breaks their neck, it's going to cost more than the film. It's going to cost me millions. So public liability. You got food. We have to cater for everyone. We have to make sure that everyone's got their energy on set. It's from equipment. It's from lights. It's from drives. Oh my god, I've never had so many drives. I hate drives. I want to throw drives in the bin. So basically, drives. What drives are is drives are basically, if people don't know what they are, they're the things that hold the footage. If I film it, I have to put it on that drive. But then I don't only have to put it on that drive. I have to put it as a backup on another drive and a backup on another drive. So basically, and that drive's only got 1 terabyte. What's like nearly 2 days of filming. So I'm like, great. So now I've got to buy another 3 drives, and I feel I've got more drives than food in my house at the minute. It's crazy. But so it's things like drives. It's things like food. Paying for expenses, paying for some of the crew, because some people do need to eat and put shelter over their head. Not everyone can work for free. And to me, like hiring Richard Oakes as my DOP, I have to pay him. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's one of these things. He's got 4 kids that he's looking after. He can't do this for free. And if I pay him, I get commitment, and that's what I need. I need that commitment for this film. I need a commitment from a DOP, and he loves to film, and I know that he will have my back either way now. But it's that commitment of saying, hey, Marc, like, I will do this. And Richard Oakes is so talented, so talented. And it's just so many things. Like, the other day, like, we didn't realise we had to pay for parking. Oh, my God. Like, I had to park 4 cars. It cost me, like, 20 quid. I was like, gosh, what is this about? But, people have to get to where they have to get to. Yeah. And, and it's either we pay for parking or they get parking tickets. And it cost me £60 per car, or it cost me £3 per car. So it's all small things like this, and you'll be surprised, everything adds up. But it's other things as well, like from what you can see in the picture. We paid for this lovely guy called Jade to take us out on his boat. He didn't have to do that, but we chucked him some money, and he basically took my actors out on the boat, and they probably got seasick and they probably hate me, but that's the film world, and it's all these kind of things that you have to pay for, and it's been worth it, because for me it's me saying to myself, right, I'm understanding a lot more what actually costs in film and what is necessary and what's not necessary. It's like hiring a photographer, because we need to hire a photographer to make sure we get stills for magazines and things like that, because that helps PR the film. It's even the sound guy. You got this guy called Nick who's clapping the board. I had to buy a new clapper board and loads of pens to go with the clapperboard, and that clapperboard means a lot, because if you don't have that, you're going to spend about 20 years in editing. Yeah. It's so many things that you really don't think about. I don't even think about. The other day, I think the most stressful one is green tea. Like the amount of green tea. I was like, all right, here's your green tea. So, but it's just small things that you want to take care of everyone. You want to look after everyone, and I'm learning a lot about it. I'm learning a lot about it's kind of nice, because we've just shot the first block of the film, and I think when we get our next part of funding, it's going to make me more sensible on what I need to look out for and what I don't need to look out for, because we nearly hit a wall. Funny enough, what was our DOP Richard, he had 2 memory cards, what was basically there for the black magic camera, and as we was filming, it was like, all right, we've got to dip the footage. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, let's carry on filming. It's like, oh, we can't carry on filming because that's going to take an hour on the laptop to dip. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, so I literally had to quickly go on Amazon and order 2 more, and that almost cost $1,000. I was like, but I had to do it, because if we don't do that, we can't film the film. We're all just going to be standing there watching this computer loading up footage. So it's like, it's either we buy 2 new ones so we can continue, and it's things like that you start preparing yourself for, and we're ready for next time as well. So
I suppose as well, it's your debut directing film as well, so it is a learning curve for you as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I felt there's times I just wanted to hide in the basement and just sit in a rocking chair doing this, going, what have I done? Should have just stayed at Halfords 10 years ago. No,
never that.
But it's yeah, it's been interesting, and do you know what? It's one of these things that I love doing it. I love being creative, and I love having my mind there making films, because I think thanks to Homeless Ashes, it's inspired me to also want to make more films. I want to make more films. I want to start making more storytelling as well. And as much as I love acting is my passion, and it always will be, and I will always act, and it is my love. But I've also got into directing, and I've also got into filmmaking a lot more as well, where I'm so passionate also to tell stories. I'm like, oh, I've got this idea, cool, like I'm going to do that next, and I'm going to do that, and for some reason now I have like 10 ideas, and I've got like scripts being made left, right and centre, and I'm never crowdfunding after that. Oh my god.
that was actually another question I had, because we ask it all the time. We've had a few people on who've done IndieGoGo or Kickstarter or GoFundMe, and they all seem to say the same thing. It's a pain in the ass. So it was kind of like, how's your experience been with your crowdfunding?
I think it's kind of like a game of bingo, really. You sit there, and on my phone, let me see if I've got one come up now. If I have, I don't think I have. But basically, on my phone, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but up there in that bar, where it says like this bit here, there'll be a big GO, and I go, oh, someone's donated, and I look and I go, what is it? And it'd be like £2. of like, that's the green tea sorted.
I've really got a problem with that green tea.
It's just divas and the green tea.
So it's for me, it's like when you do that, it's exciting, because it is like a game of bingo. It's like, you know who's donating, and as soon as you find out who it is, and you turn around, you go, oh wow, actually it's one of my friends, or wow, actually, who's this guy? Like, I don't even know him, and he's just gave me some money. Like, hey, buddy, thank you. Like, you just want to hug these people. But for me, it's been a great experience, because I'll tell you where I find it annoying. I don't find it annoying doing a crowdfund campaign. I actually enjoy doing it. I think the way that you got to kind of the way, like Stormtroopers 2, if you look at the way they promoted the Stormtroopers 2, they enjoyed promoting it. You got to enjoy promoting it and making it sound like you're crawling on the floor with like spikes on your back, like, guys, give me some money. Like, you got to kind of stand there and go, hey guys, I'm having fun in doing this. Like, who's involved? Who's going to come into the family? Let's make this film. Yeah. And you got to have fun with it. And the more you have fun with it, the more I feel donations comes in, because that's the kind of energy that you're pushing out there. If you push like that kind of energy, it's like, oh my god, I hate this, then people are not gonna feel your passion or your love for it. I think the part that I enjoy that. I enjoy basically creating these perks and creating this energy for people to get excited, to be like, oh, like, what can I get? What can I choose? How can I be involved? And when they are involved, I stick to my guns. Like, I had one of my backers come on set the other day and made him feel at home. We interviewed him. We had pictures with him. He had a great time. He loved it. I showed him some of the footage, and he was just over the moon. He was like, wow, I didn't expect that. And it's sticking to your guns, and and that's what's important on the Indigo campaign, because it's not just take your money and say, haha, see you later, bye. It's, you've got to show these people consistent love. I think that's what's hard. So after my admin told me that I've got over 500 people that have contributed, that made me realise that I've got to show love to 500 people and keep that consistency up. I can barely keep it up with my partner. So when you kind of get that, you go, oh, great, like, okay, here we go. But one thing I don't like, and I feel sorry for people, and I do thank people, is I'm so sorry if I'm bombarding your social media, because I am literally thanking people for retweeting. I'm like, thank you for retweeting, thank you for retweeting, thank you for donating, thank you. And these people are probably thinking, this guy is absolutely getting on my nerves. I want to delete him and then block him and probably throw him off a cliff if I get a chance to. So that's the only thing that I don't enjoy, is that I know that sometimes I'm just on my mode of like, right, promote, and then people are probably thinking, all right, he's at it again, mute him. Like, so I think that's the part that I don't enjoy. That I think people are probably sitting there like kind of thing. So we have a real problem with social media. When it comes to putting episodes out and all that, and I know it's completely different to what you're doing, but when we come to putting episodes out, you then have to like promote the episode a bit, and you have to put it out there. And I'm just terrible at social media.
I'm absolutely terrible at it because I just don't like it.
And I'm worse.
Mate, I don't think anyone likes social media.
but
Social media is a pain.
But I know earlier that I said you were a social media whore. I didn't mean that in a derogatory way, by the way.
You know what?
I meant as
I
in...
feel so offended.
No, I meant as in you've kind of got your shit together when it comes to social media, if you know what I mean. Because you are doing a really good job with the homeless ashes, both the pages, the VIPs page, which was... when I got an invite to that, I was like, oh, I am in. This is great. I'm loving this. I didn't even tell Chris about it. I was that happy.
That's the first I've heard of it.
I'll invite you as well, Chris. Send me an email.
No. Don't invite him. So,
Arsehole.
So, so why don't you do everybody a favour one last time before we move on, and tell them where they can find the IndieGoGo for Homeless Ashes and basically the social medias for the movie as well.
Yeah, if you go to my social media, mainly Twitter that I use, was at Zammit_Marc with a C, and that's 2 M's with the Zammit. You can find my social media on there, and you'll see it on the top of my wall with the Indigo campaign. I can't remember what it is, because for some reason Indigo do these crazy things, but it's like 34652.
Yeah.
It's like the old school web addresses, isn't it? When you used to watch Live and Kicking.
It's like a certain code, but you can find it on there, and you can obviously anyone that does donate, they will get invited to the VIP group. What I thought was quite an interesting idea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna film live behind the scenes. I thought, shit, what am I doing? Like, but I started having a go at my sound guy. Hey, put it makes me look bad. So like, while it's been live, I'm like, hey guys, this is a happy family. As soon as it's off, no, it's the guys are great on set. They've got so much love for them. But when I'm on set, I'm just like, I'm in zone 10. I don't even know where I am. So yeah, you can find it there as well. And Homeless Ashes is at Homeless Ashes for the movie.
Well, as well on our social medias, we'll pimp out when the episode comes out, and we'll put it all about the place as much as possible as well. Definitely. Because, like I say, from the moment I kind of fell upon your IndieGoGo the first time round, I've been fully looking into this, and I think you're onto something great here. And this movie does it looks like it's going to be something special.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I thought, how do you know that? I just forgot I sent you the pictures.
but with that, I did want to ask the poster for Homeless Ashes. Where did that come from? Did somebody design that for you, or did you do that yourself? Because it's an incredible poster.
I was sitting there one day and I was on fire, and I said, "Quick, take a picture." No, it's by a good friend of mine called Patrick Ryder. And I was sitting there, I was like, right, I need to make a poster. And I'm such a film buff. I thought, right, how can I make a poster that just really stands out, that really projects out? And I typed in Google. I just typed in. I think Google is just fantastic these days. You can find so much. Like, I just typed in Google best posters in movies, and then I saw Total Recall, where basically the thing's coming off his back.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, this looks really good, but let's make it ashes, and let's not make it like squares. I thought, we'll make it like ashes, and then I thought, okay, what can we do next? I thought, well, let's have the backdrop a bit like Drive. So Drive's backdrop is like the blue kind of lights and things. I thought, okay, that looks cool. And then it come down to the title, and I thought, right, I looked at certain titles, I see what I like the most, and I come across James Bond's new one. Is it Spectre? Spectre. Yeah. So I come across that, and I like the way that looked. And I said to my editor, I said, look, can we just make it a bit more cracky and a bit more dry rather than a bit more silky? And he was like, yeah. So we kind of put all of that together, and then I looked at it the first time. I was like, oh, there might need to be some changes. And we used the wrong picture, and I went, actually, let's use this picture. I wanted him to be just looking down, and just from the back and the front. And then that poster just come together, and I looked at it. I fell in love with it. I was like, that might be actually the main poster. That is probably the main poster for the film. I wouldn't even want to change that. I think that I generally think Patrick Ryder, who is a great poster designer, by the way. I looked at it, I went, that's it. That's the poster. That's what I'm selling it on.
It's an incredible poster, I have to say. It does look good.
Cheers, man. Cheers. I'll get you guys a signed one as well, sent over to you guys.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Be like
I think I've got. Actually, let me just double check. I think I've got some here. Hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on 1 sec. All right, guys. There you go. This is your one. Oh! I'm gonna write it especially to Chris and Kev. There you go.
Happy days.
It's cracking.
That'll go on the swag wall.
Absolutely cracking.
Yeah, there you go, guys.
Nice.
That's the poster.
Good man. Good man.
Look at that handsome chap. Look at him.
Very humble. Very humble.
Sorry, guys.
So basically we've got a couple of little ones, and then we've got one little question that we always like to ask our guests at the end of the show. But first of all, Homeless Ashes is obviously like it's a huge part of your life right now, but you've got a lot of other projects on the go from your IMDb page. I think I counted like 200 different projects that you're involved in.
It doesn't feel like it. I'm only involved in about 2 at the minute.
At the moment, yeah. But one of them was Knights of the Damned, which I watched the trailer for when they released that a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, the trailer looks amazing.
It looks insanely good. And what can you tell us about that movie?
I think the movie is really good. The idea has been made by Ben Holmes and Simon Wells. Very passionate guy. He's got so much determination to just get things done. He's one of these people that I call a walker. You know, there's people that talk and there's people that walk, and he really does he just puts everything he can into just making a film work. And you know, he's created this idea what's hopefully going to become a franchise for him, and obviously the production, and it's like got dragons, it's got all these kind of different kind of fantasy stuff. I don't want to I can't really say much because if I give it too much, it's spoilers. But the trailer then does represent as a dragon. But yeah, it's an interesting project, and I think when Ben comes out with his second one and maybe his third one, he's potentially got a really good trilogy there for himself. And I think it's interesting to see what he will do with the second one as well, because there's been some amazing kind of characters that have been created. And even when I was on set and I saw the costumes, I was like, can I touch it? And I was touching like these random people's faces going, wow, this is amazing. And it's a bit like a Family Guy, you know, where he picks his nose and wipes it on their head, like, proud of you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's what I was doing, really. Just going around going, proud of you.
So now everybody knows what happens on a real movie.
They'll be listening to this going, bastard!
kind of thing. But no, I generally think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a really fun film to watch. I think it's going to be fun, and people that like their fantasy stuff and their kind of modern Warcraft and kind of things like that, and their kind of fantasy things. Yeah, this is up your street. Totally.
So you don't stereotype yourself at all. You're taking on a mass range of roles when you're making your movies, aren't you?
Exactly. I'm playing a drag queen next week as well.
Nice.
It's actually quite interesting because I've just been attached to a project. I haven't really announced it to anyone yet, but I've had this lovely woman contact me called Slovakia, and she's basically asked me to play a lead in a film called Hostage.
Okay.
What's a fantastic film in Canada that's going to be made. And France. So I'm really looking forward to that because I read the script and I fell in love with it. And first I was going to be playing this character called Peter, and then I just looked at this character Philip. I was like, oh, I'd love to play this guy. And I didn't say anything to her. I said he's amazing, but obviously I understand you probably got to get a bigger name. And she just turned around. She goes, Marc, I want you to play him. I was like, right, yes, where's the contract? kind of thing, ready to sign. So I kind of like doing that as well. I don't know if you've seen Cosmos series.
Yes. Excellent.
And I love playing Louis Lewis in that, and I love being versatile. I think it really challenges an actor. I don't always want to play the same roles because for me it's like what I love doing as an actor, and I get so much joy out of doing it, and I love doing it even when I'm directing now. I love kind of telling my actors, well, not telling them, but kind of giving them the feed of like, you know, really soak into the character. I really care about their performance. And as an actor for myself, I just love evolving into these people and different people. And I think if I was playing the same person all the time, I don't think I would enjoy that. I think I'd get bored easily. So the fact that I'm playing like a homeless Ash is this homeless guy, the fact I'm playing Bryce, this townsman, village man, idiot, and then I've got Pandorica where I'm playing another idiot, but more of the villain. You know, and Cosmos as well. I just love playing these kind of roles. It's just, for me, it's adventurous. I'm always thinking, what do I want to play next? What's next on the cards for me? You know, you just never know. You never know. I'm never going to be the boy next door, because when my hair's down, I just look like a weasel. I look like I'm going to attack. Like, I look like Freddy Krueger, just like coming out of nowhere. So I realised, and that's what I thought. Oh, I'm going to be the boy next door, but then I turned out looking like a gremlin, and I thought, okay, so what am I going to play? I'm going to play the villains, I'm going to play the weasel, the weird guy, or someone that's just badass, you know, like, that's pretty much it. So
everyone wants to be the badass.
Yeah. That and being the Bill. The
Bill and the badass.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Doctor after.
And Doctor. I think I'd be. I don't even think I'd be good as a Doctor. People just look at me and go, "Who's that guy? Look at him. He looks like a 1B4. Like, get him off."
You'd be fine.
Depends if you have the Freddy Krueger hair or not. You know, it's Freddy Krueger is the Doctor.
If you see me in my head, and you literally be terrified. I look like a scarecrow.
Right.
All right, so we have one more question before you get back to your GTA. We like to finish off these Indie Talk episodes, Marc, with a segment called 365 Picks. Now, this is something that we run on our website, and we like to put our guests on the spot by asking you to add one movie to a list of 365 movies that you think everybody should watch before they die.
One movie before you die.
You can only pick one.
It's a hard one, and we always like to put people on the spot with it.
Most of the time we get, oh, fucking hell.
I think £7.
£7 with Will Smith?
Yeah, because it's just reminding people when you die, give your organs to someone else.
Okay,
fair enough.
Like, you're going to die. What have you got that's useful for someone else? Come on, think about it.
Oh, right, yeah. So it's a bit of a meta answer, that one.
Well, if you want to be so I'd say, but obviously it's not my best film, but I'd say, yeah, that's. But if I want to be fun,
yeah.
What's Eating Gilbert's Grape?
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. We'll go with that. We'll put
Which
that.
one was that?
What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp and Caprio?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
That's on your list before you die, Chris.
You
exactly. It's on the list now, so you have to watch it.
It's actually a fantastic film. It's so good, and I think that's what made Leonardo DiCaprio for me. He's just incredible.
He is. We do, and hopefully you'll be getting a part in Homeless Ashes. So just keep plugging at that one.
Love it.
I'm sure if you asked him, he would do it.
Yeah. I was just like, Caprio, come on. No, enough teasing now. We've had enough of this.
Right.
I see you looking at my status.
Right. So we're going to end this there now, and that has been a cracking talk, Marc. And I'm really glad you came on. I've been trying to get you on for a wee while now, and I knew you'd be just awesome to speak to, and this was definitely a project I wanted to talk about. And if Indie Talk is about anything, it's about getting these types of projects out there and creators with your passion. So that's what we try to do. So hopefully that's what we've done.
Absolutely.
Love you guys. You're awesome. You've been great. And but does that mean I know you guys said you're going to pay me now, but you could just give me that wrestling belt at the back instead?
that's currently his.
That's my belt. You have to win it off me.
Yeah, you have to.
Chris looked at you then. Chris looked at you like, "Are we paying him?" Like,
no, we do predictions on the WWE, and whoever gets the most right gets the belt. And currently, Chris has the belt. So yeah, that's a sore subject right now.
Do you know what? Me and my mate do that. We do it with Towerfall. Have you ever played Towerfall?
No.
And to play Towerfall, and we've got me and my housemate. We've got a crown, and whoever wins keeps the crown in their room. So yeah, but play Towerfall. It's proper retro. It's proper cool as well.
I feel a belt is a bit better than a crown though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
and it's
suit
a spinny belt as well. So.
I wouldn't suit a crown. I'm going to check that out, though. Again, Marc, awesome, really good chat here. Good luck with the rest of the movie and good luck with the crowdfunding. We're going to keep an eye on it, and I'll pimp out as much as humanly possible. Whenever I see you post it, I'll post it, which means I'll be posting it every 2 minutes. So,
right? Should I get this with everyone? I should be like, right, guys. Every time I post, you have to post.
I think you should. I think you should.
A rule, yeah.
Yeah. But again, Marc, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you so much.
Speak to
We'll
you
get
soon,
back to my GTA.
Good
Good man. Good man. So that was Marc.
That was Marc.
Damn
good interview.
Marc is off to play some more GTA. I think we had a cracking interview with that lad. Like, I really enjoyed speaking to him. I kind of had a feeling in the run up to it and the amount of time I've been speaking to him that he was gonna be, you or I, but better because he's making a movie. And it really came across that way. Really enjoyed speaking to him, and we got a little bit personal and a little bit introspective on some stuff. Talking about the Homeless Ashes movies. I mean, this is a movie that people need to get behind. They really do, and we can't say it enough.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's an important film to be making, so we are completely behind Marc on that one. It's great that he's doing it.
And the IndieGoGo is doing fantastically well right now. There's still, I believe, 24 or 25 days to go. He's looking for 55 grand, but the way he's doing it is that he has a campaign, gets the money from that campaign, makes a part of the movie, then he's having this campaign, he'll get some more money, make the next part of the movie, and then he'll keep going that way till the movie gets made, because as he says in the interview countless times, this movie's getting made. Whatever happens, it's getting made. But he showed us a couple of like cinematography stills during the interview, and fuck me, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So I get the feeling that once he puts a little bit of that out there, and then he can add that into his next IndieGoGo and whatnot, people's going to get on board really quickly because he's doing something incredible here.
Definitely.
So, I want everybody to look out for that. Go to the IndieGoGo, Homeless Ashes. Marc Zammit, he's on the Facebook, he's on the Twitter. Thank you, Marc, for coming on the show. Really hope you enjoy the interview. I can't really say much more else. So, do you want to say anything?
Just basically what you just said, Kev. Just massive thanks to Marc. It was a great time speaking to him, and couldn't be more behind the movie. So, just wish him the best luck with it. And
keep an eye on all those social medias.
Definitely.
Because we'll be throwing it around like shit in a field. But that's pretty much it for episode 88. We have basically, if we work this right, I think we've only got one more episode before Cincinnati. Yeah, there was talk of Brigger coming on, but then, that could still be the next episode, though. 89 could be the big, what do they call it on the WWE? The go-home show? Ooh, I like that. That could, I like that. 89 could be the go-home show, where we have a bit chat with Brigger and that. And then I think 90 will probably be the Cincinnati review. Nice. Or if we record an episode over there, we said, because we're the podcast is turning 3 while we're over there. Yes, it is. So it'd be nice to record an episode for our 3rd birthday. That would be cool with the boys, with the guys. Not Dev. Not Dev. Well, I've got to because you rigged the fucking questions on that quiz. I've got to defend my title over there. So. Oh yeah. That's a good point. Mm. And I was thinking about this. You could put the spoilers, but one of the guys over there may or may not be number 1 contender for the belt. So you could put that on the line when we're there, but somebody else is Mr. Money in the Bank. That's very true. So we need to keep the title in the fantasy league. We kind of do. That's kind of the point of it. It is now, but if somebody from outside takes it, there's not much we can do. Well, yeah.
Get a new title, be fine.
So we did that anyway when Brigger won.
It's true.
We sent him a Divas belt and invented a new title. So yeah, that could end up being a triple. Oh, I'll have to make some more questions.
You're not doing any questions.
Right, man. That's episode 88, done and dusted. 89 will be the go-home show. I'm liking the sound of that, by the way.
That is good.
This has been Marc Zammit. This has been an absolutely fantastic indie talk. I'm so proud of what we did with this guy, because I honestly believe you need to check out this campaign. And if you have a spare couple of pounds to pay for that green tea, then that would just be amazing. Just give him a couple of pounds, and that's all we're going to ask of you. So yeah, next time.